out. So this is a week 5 guest coming in here for R511. They both took R511. Miguel Laura took R511, I think about 13 years ago. I didn't teach this course at the time. I think maybe he took the course from some other...
Dr. Appelman.
Dr. Appelman, who was my guest last night in R678. Okay. Wonderful. So you remember it. And Dr. Bude Sue, do you remember who you took R511 with?
Dr. Melinda.
Really? Okay. You had the person who developed the course.
Yeah, 22 years ago.
22 years ago. So that was in 2000. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So he's been a guest in this class several times. So I want to thank both Miguel and Bude Sue for coming in to visit us tonight. And I gave them a set of 10 questions that I might ask them. But during the day today, I came up with 5 different ones. They've been studying the 10. So I was once on national TV in New Zealand, and they gave me 3 questions that they're going to ask. And they didn't ask any of the 3 questions. And I looked really foolish because I didn't know how to answer the questions on national television. I went blah, 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 blah. So they both might not be able to answer the 5 new questions. They might be, so I apologize. I've also, besides that, just before class started, I sent everyone an email with your bios and your pictures. But while discovering your pictures, I found some other pictures. So let's see what I found. I think I've got, if I get my email up here, it'll be in my email somewhere. And it was the last message I sent to everyone. So let's see if I can call this up. So yes, okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, great. Great. Okay, let's see if I can share my screen with this in it. And I'll go down to the bottom here. There we go. Okay, can you all see that?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so Dr. Bude Sue is the chairperson. The chairperson. We got time. Chairpersons never have time of the School of Computing and Design. So she took all her talents and went into a School of Computing Design. Not many of our graduates go into such School of Computing Design at California State University, Monterey Bay. And not only that, it was a brand new university when she started there. In fact, I don't even think there was a sign saying the School of Education or the School of Computing Design is in this location. When I got a tour, and she gave me a tour, and when it opened, she's got a BS in computer science, a master's and PhD in instructional systems technology. While she was getting her doctorate, she was looking at organizational behavior and human resource management at IU, and also was looking at the online MBA program with me. She did research with me on the MBA program and was very interested in students learning online. And in fact, she was really interested in the word engagement. How do students engage in online environments? And she said to me, I want to do a study of engagement in an online MBA program. Okay, why don't you come back to me in a week, see what you find. And about a week, maybe 2 weeks later, she came back to my office. She says, there's no instruments on engagement. I can't do this thing on engagement. I got to do something else. I said, okay. And when she got done with her dissertation, Subudi, what was the title of your dissertation?
It's been a long time. I don't remember the exact title, but it's really on online interactions, like different types of interactions. And
in the online MBA program.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been on 116 completed dissertation. She was my advisee, I think, right? And so she, of 116 people, took the least time to defend. She got done in 45 minutes, including maybe 50 minutes, including the questions. We scheduled 2 hours, and hers is the fastest on record. Just as a little aside. So it's needless to say, I'm telling you, she's very smart. So the second person is Dr. Miguel Laura, who's also in the School of Computing and Design. And I think you got your master's degree or did some work at Western Illinois University, right, Miguel?
Yes, that's correct. I did my master's in instructional technology and
Yeah.
communication at
Yeah.
Western Illinois.
Yeah. And maybe you met my former students, Gary and Katrina Daytner there. They were there in Ed Psych. I don't know if you met them.
I think I
But-
might have met them. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's
Yes.
it's a very small university, small campus over there.
Yeah, when it's in the news, it's usually got some problems. I think they've had financial problems there, but
Oh, I see.
it's still around. It's still around. So Miguel got his master's, then he came to IU. I think he worked in the library for a while in instructional design and technology, worked in instructional consulting office and instructional, helping faculty put their courses online.
That's correct.
And he got his minor in human computer interaction. So he had one person go in the informatics for a minor, one person go in the school of business for a minor. And so he's got, a decade and a half experience putting stuff together and helping people out as a systems analyst, a designer, a web designer, web application person. He's got a lot of skills. And so he's really interested in emerging learning technologies, in particular virtual worlds, things like Second Life. And so we might get a question about that. So Dr. Bude, I've got her picture up here. And, I found this, so I might ask about this. I'm going to come back to that. I found some other pictures. Just scrolling through here, both of you show up on this hackathon, right? And then Miguel's pictures in there, and then he's helping out on the hackathon. And then Miguel likes to have food. Somehow he likes food. And then we got more hackathon people. So I don't think we want to ask a question about what food you like, but Miguel, could you tell us a little bit about the hackathon at Cal State Monterey Bay and what you're doing with students there, and why is that enjoyable and important for you?
Yes, absolutely. I was invited to participate in this hackathon. We organize it every year. I inherited this hackathon from another professor. She's not longer working over here. And I was really interested because students get to practice, they get to do something completely new. We have different companies that help us organizing this event. So we got some funding from these companies. So students were able to use some technologies that we don't have them over here, right? So some of them were like with Android devices. So they brought a bunch of Android devices to create apps. We gave a small training about mobile application development, and students just love it. It's a whole weekend. It's a very intense whole weekend. We invite different people to participate as judges to select the best project. And you can see the creativity of students working under pressure, right? It's just amazing. Unfortunately, we're not able to keep students overnight. They need to go back to their house to sleep. That's the main complaint that we are getting, because most of the hackathons, they need to work 24/7 for 3 days. But we were not allowed to do that. But still, they appreciate having this very important event in their lives. They really enjoy this opportunity. I wrote a paper, which I published in collaboration with the other professor, who is also participating in this hackathon. We got experience from the participants in the event. We had like a survey asking them for ways to improve their experiences and so on. And in the paper, we wrote about some tips for organizing this type of events. And this type of events is not only for computer, it's about any other event. We can have something like this, a hackathon for instructional design, right? So we can have teams of students creating an instructional design for a project.
An instructional design-a-thon.
Exactly.
So this leads me to the question then. We're studying for the next few weeks learning theories. What are the principles that capture people's interests? What makes a hackathon successful? If you had to label, like the key principles, just like of is it problem-based learning is a key principle? What are the principles underlying this?
Yes, I would say that one of the main principles is to have a problem that the students can relate to. So students can work on a problem, and this is the way that we design these hackathons, and this is the way we are recommending that students get to choose the topic that they want to work on. We have tried assigning specific topics, but we didn't get too much buy-in from students. So when we give them a list of topics that they can choose from, we invited, for instance, people from the community, small businesses, nonprofit organizations to come to pitch for the projects. So we start the hackathon by having 10 to 15 community participants pitching their projects, talking about their problems that they have. So they need to work, students work in real problems, and they need to provide real solutions. So these are not like fake games that they need to do for the hackathon. These are authentic problems that community organizations and nonprofit companies have, right? So giving them the opportunity to collaborate, helping, providing solutions, I think is really important. It's like project-based.
Goals-based, a goal-based scenario, project-based with options and choice and empowerment. Any feedback? Go, Subudi, you have any things to add to this?
So related to that, I think if you really would like to find the principle to link, it's probably David Merrill's first principle of instruction, maybe, right?
I covered that last week, or mentioned it last week. Great. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So that's related to like solving the problem around, right? Your integration and all those happen around that the problem they try to solve.
Yeah. Who's the gentleman next to you, Miguel?
Which one?
The guy right next to you, and yeah.
The orders over here. These are some.
Right next to you. The guy standing right next to you. Yeah.
On the shared screen, that's Dr. Eric Tao.
Oh,
so that is Eric. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's Eric Tao. So his brother Victor Tao is my good friend in Taiwan.
And, oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that was Eric. I wasn't positive because I haven't seen him in a while. So yeah. So yeah, every day I go to Taiwan, Victor wants to take me out for dinner, and his wife, Naoko. So yeah, I know him through them. Just a small world sometimes, there's 7 billion people, but someone's brother or sister, So if we scroll down here a little more, so there you're helping out in the teams and interacting, giving feedback as they go, I'm assuming on there.
Exactly.
And Subudi, are you in the same project here, or is this a different project that you're in?
I was one of the judges, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, she will participate as a judge in this event.
How often does a judge show up? At the end only, or
at the end?
Only at the end.
How many judges are there?
5. We have 5, sometimes 4 to 5, and we have mentors. Something that is important to have mentors, because these are students who are not really professional yet, right? So they might get stuck. So we have mentors from community and also instructors who volunteer their time to help students during that weekend.
How many people participate in this?
It varies. We have about 60 to 100 students.
And do they get jobs as a result of this? The top performers, to their companies?
Oh, not really. Not really. This is only like a 1 weekend, and they don't create like a full functional project. It's more like a prototype, an idea.
Okay. So what's going on here?
This is probably the virtual reality. The Oculus Rifts that we have in the computer science department.
Okay.
I organize, it's a group of the migrant youth group. They come every year, and I prepare for them the Hour of Code. So the Hour of Code is a worldwide event that takes place in November, and is mainly intended to promote computer science in high school kids. So I go to different high schools in the community, and we have a partnership with School of Education here in Monterey Bay, and we invite about 100 high school students, and we bring them over here to campus, and we give them the hour of code. We introduce them to programming. In this specific picture, we see them playing with Oculus Rifts. So we show them different virtual reality programs that some of our students have created, or also some commercial products that we have.
So your guys are in the School of Computing and Design, or Design and Computing. You know, you're not in the School of Education. But it sounds like there are lots of opportunities for people with skills in instructional systems technology because of this age. Right now, there's lots of attention being focused on computing, on computational thinking. We actually have a lot of grants now in IST for AI and computational thinking. Young children, K-12 children, there's a focus now at the federal government level. Have you noticed that, and have you benefited from that within your school at all? Do you have many partnerships with the School of Education as a result, or have you written some grants or gotten involvement, either state or federal related?
That's an excellent question. We are working in a partnership to train in-service and pre-service teachers to teach computer science. There is a great need of computer science instructors in high school because they don't have the background to teaching computer science. In the past, anyone who had math skills was assigned to teach computer science. But however, it wasn't computer science. It was only Word or PowerPoint or Excel, but it wasn't really computer science. So California is changing that. It has what is called the computer science principles, and now it's forcing all high school teachers who want to teach computer science to have at least some classes, right, Dr. Sue? At least 5 classes.
It's called supplementary authorization. So on top of their teaching credential, they can take 10 units of upper division computer science classes, or 20 units of upper division, lower division combined computer science credits to be eligible to get supplementary authorization to teach computer science. And in 2016, the K-12 computer science standards were developed, and it's fully approved just a couple years ago. So that's being pushed out to all schools, public schools. As a result, what we are looking at on this screen is I helped develop the service learning. CSU Monterey Bay is a service learning institute that our students are required to do service to the community before they graduate, at least one semester. So, and I observed that the number of K-12 schools that really need computer science teachers increased dramatically. And some semesters I was placing over 50 of our students to go help with after school or computer science classes in their school. So, but this particular award is really working with the Loaves and Fishes and Computing, which is a nonprofit organization here in Salinas. And they collect all the used computers and refurbish, and then sell them to low-income people with like $25 a computer or like $50 a laptop. So it's really, and then comes with their training. You know, when this digital device, right? They are trying to solve the digital divide issue, and a lot of people who need to have access to the Social Security website to claim their Social Security or stipend or something like that, right? So they are contributing to this low-income community a lot, and we send a lot of students over there to help with their computer refurbishing and training courses.
So today, there's a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This seems like a prime example of diversity, equity, and inclusion in action that you all are helping out there, for people who've moved into your region and don't have the finances to have a computer or computer training. or for computer training for teachers that will then help the students of theirs that are immigrants to the area. Is that right?
Yes, we have our university is a Hispanic Serving Institute, and
Okay.
we have a huge portion of migrant workers around here. And we also, which is really an interesting place because we also closer to high tech world. We're
Right.
50 minutes south of San Jose, the Silicon Valley. So there are, and they have need for high-end computers. So they upgrade their computers pretty frequently. And it's a huge waste. The computers are fine and other people can really benefit. That's why this low efficiency computing, this organization started to collect all those computers, even the computers from like universities and colleges, and they refurbish.
Can you send a link that I can share with the class, or that Soon May might put in the Canvas website or someplace for our students?
For this organization?
Yeah, you can send it to my email, is fine. You don't have to do it now. Anything that comes up, if you want to send after. By the way, Soon May, my TA in here, one of my TAs is from working at Stanford, so she's not far from you.
Yeah, not too far away. I took some classes in Stanford. I tried to learn Esperanto. So 3 years ago, I went to Stanford every week for my Esperanto class.
Nowadays?
Very nice. Yeah, very nice campus, by the way.
Yeah, I like it.
Yes, yes.
It's a beautiful place.
Yes. Right. Yeah, coming back, Dr. Bonk, to your question about being within the School of Computing and Design and not the School of Education, it has several benefits because our students in institutional systems, institutional science and technology program are able to collaborate with computer science students. So we have multidisciplinary projects, custom projects. In one of the projects, for instance, one of the institutional systems science technology student, he created a virtual reality app, and he published it in the Android, in the Google store. And he's teaching how to cross the street. It was an app intended for elementary school kids. And they have to wear this VR headset, and they can see a car that is approaching, and then they need to turn left, turn right, and then turn left again in order to cross the street. And then they can simulate that they go to the traffic light and they press the button. It's quite interesting. So our institutional science and technology student was able to collaborate with a computer science student to create that. Just last semester, we have another student who created an Android app that teaches that we need to stand up most of the time. We shouldn't be sitting down the whole time. That's the reason why I am standing up right now.
I have a standing desk, but right now I'm sitting. So,
well, this app reminds anyone to stand up every hour or so, and teaches about the benefits or stuff.
So I've shown a number of pictures, and if you have anything you would like to show, I surprised you with these. These are not my questions, but by having pictures, oftentimes you can tell stories from them. So if you have anything you would like to show, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. But if you have anything you would like to call up, let me know, and we'll share your screens. And maybe you want to show something from Cal State. I think I said if you want to show something from Cal State Monterey Bay, some of the buildings and so forth, you can go ahead and do so. Is that Subudi or is that Miguel?
That's me. That's me. And let me share with all of you. I put it together. It's very, very small, but hopefully you enjoy it. It's about our campus and about our school of computing and design. I'm not familiar. I don't know if you are familiar with Genially. It's a new, relatively new tool that allows you to create presentations online. So I'm using it for that. All right. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So this is our campus. We are located 2 hours from to the south of San Francisco. As Dr. Su mentioned, we are very close to Silicon Valley, only 1 hour to the south of Silicon Valley. and just 1 mile from Monterey Bay. As a matter of fact, I was able to see the ocean from my office over here. However, just 2 years ago, they built a new building in front of my office. They block my beautiful view to the ocean.
Oh, you didn't have a lawsuit against that?
So yeah, you can see that we are very, very close to the beach, and we are 5 hours to away from Los Angeles. But I am not driving to watch the Super Bowl, to see the Super Bowl this coming
Are
Sunday.
you driving to ERA in San Diego and coming to ERA, Miguel?
No, I am not this year.
Okay.
Yeah, but I might next year. Okay, so let's see. We are part of the CSU system. As you may know, the CSU is the largest public university system. It has 23 campuses. It has about 500,000 of students in total. CSUMB was inaugurated in 1995 and is the second smallest campus. We have only about 7,000 students. So we are really, really small compared to the rest of the other campuses. Okay, so we are located over here.
Mm.
The School of Computing and Design is located in the second floor of the Business and Information Technology, the BIT building.
Now, wait a minute. That wasn't there when I visited Subudi.
No, it wasn't there yet. Just relatively.
Oh,
We moved in 2015, the year I became chair, we moved in. So my chair started in this building.
and the chair's got a better view. And
Not necessarily.
do you have a view of the ocean from your office?
No, our school is at the second floor. So the third floor, this whole building was for us, but the business, they took our third floor. So they got the view and we don't.
Yeah.
Business school took your view.
Yeah. If you go to the third floor, you can still see the ocean.
So when you're going to have an opening, you got to send me that job opening so I can apply.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome anytime, Dr. Bonk. You can visit us anytime.
I promise to visit, and maybe Sunde and I will drive down the coast and I'll come to Stanford first, and we'll both come and visit you.
Absolutely.
It looks like a lovely building. I got to see it. I definitely have to see it. Now you got my travel itch going. I'm just, wow, that's phenomenal. And do they have a lounge on the third floor that has a view?
Yes.
We actually have a second floor lounge at the corner that still has the ocean view.
Okay, you got me. All right, I'm coming. Because when I came, it was all old Army barracks that were converted to buildings. So they tore down the old Army barracks and built new. So you still have some of the old Army ones there, right?
Psychology took that building. So
okay.
Yes.
So for people who don't realize this, Cal State Monterey Bay is built on an old Army base.
Yeah,
exactly.
So.
Yeah. Within the School of Computing and Design, we have different programs. We have computer science undergrad program. We also have the computer science degree completion program. This is the only program in the CSU system that offers the degree completion. This is
wait a minute. You have a what that's unique? What's computer science
degree completion, right? These are for students who were not able to complete their undergrad program. They are already working in companies. They are already parents, they already have their families. So these are non-traditional students who want to complete the computer science program.
Only California residents, or could be in Texas?
Anywhere.
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 I think there are some states who might not qualify because of the fully online program. So yeah, we will need to contact the extended education program, right, Dr.
No, are you talking about the international students for a visa? If they are not going to come with visa, that's fine.
No, there's a lot of students in the United States. The big issue in the US right now is degree completion. Yes. And there's no better degree completion than computer science right now. If people, you should have a ton. Did this just start, or is this a program
it's been running for 6 years.
And how's the enrollments growing or not?
It's huge. Yeah, we cannot admit all of them. Yeah, so we admit twice a year. We only admit 40 students per semester. And the need is huge, especially because we are much cheaper, but this is through extended ed, so it's self-support. And this is fully online, asynchronous computer science program.
Amazing. By self-support, do you mean you don't get funding for your budget?
Yeah, we don't get
For this-
state funding. Yeah.
You're running this out of whatever budget money you have then?
No, this actually creates a lot of revenue for us. So we, usually in CSU systems, if students pay $1, the state matches $1.
Mhm.
So our funding goes with our stateside enrollment. But for
Mhm.
extended ed program, this is self-support, meaning that all the money that we generate will support the program. And it's bringing like $2 million a year to the campus. And we are getting a portion of this. So this is a huge portion of our money to hire TAs, teaching assistants for our faculty. So we are probably the richest department on campus, if because computer science is so hot.
Yeah, that's why I'm hanging with you guys. The same is true at IU. Our University Tech Services people are the most flush financially on campus. Not and our School of Informatics and Computing. They're and our business school. But yeah.
So we also have the communication design program, which is mainly about web design, graphic design. We have communication design. We have a game design as well. And we have the instructional science and technology. And we offer the blended program and the fully online program.
Okay, so your instructional science and technology is the most similar to IST.
Exactly. Yes, we copy everything that we had.
So one of my questions that I came up with after my set of 10 questions was, what for your, it's a master's, right? Or is it an undergraduate?
It's a master's. It's a master's only.
So master's curriculum, how is it different from IST and how is it the same?
Dr. Su?
So when I just came here, I was asked to start that program, right? So I came here the second year it started. So we changed it significantly because, for example, this is a master's program, should not be research oriented. So our focus is really hands-on. It's more technology because we don't have the PhD program. We replaced research methods with a second level advanced instructional design. And advanced instructional design, we require students to do real client-driven, real-world project. So they will get a project proposed to them. We put them in teams, and they will work with industry mentors to create the deliverables should be submitted within 8 weeks. So we are really mimicking the real world practice for these students. So because of all of these hands-on things, our students were able to put a pretty solid portfolio for their job search. So far, our graduates from our master's degree program have no problem finding jobs. And nowadays in California, because of the pandemic, a lot of jobs came up for e-learning, for instructional design, course development. So even stay-home moms going through our program, 16-month, our program is getting a 6-digit job that they are paid for like $100,000 too. So yeah, so that's probably the biggest difference is we focus on front-end design and technology skills. So our students in this program will learn design principles to some degree. Besides all the theory courses, they also need to take a learning theory course, and they will need to be able to use authoring tools like Captivate or Storyline or any other free tools to be able to create a multimedia product. And then they will need to learn all the assessment of how to assess and evaluate an instructional product and also the process. So they also take some statistics and assessment evaluation course. That course I teach, and Miguel, Dr. Lara teaches the multimedia course. Besides this, also they need to take audio video production, 2-unit elective, and also they will take 2-unit scripting to make be able to create dynamic website to host their media files. So that's how ours is a bit different and really hands-on, more media and technology focused. and also some design principles, because we have design, communication design is really graphic design, front-end screen design things. And we also have do the computer science backend thing. So our IST is really combining all of those things, putting another layer of pedagogy and learning theory, and then packaging it in a way it's more applied.
So that's my second, you just stole my second new question.
Okay.
Was what types of jobs do your students get? And you've already kind of answered that. There are jobs now, probably more than when you started. We don't have enough master's students to fill all the people. In fact, today I had someone write to me about with some jobs and internships. We just don't have that many master's students anymore to fill all the openings. Are you seeing the same thing? There are more jobs out there than what you have people graduating?
I'm not sure that we have any solid data. We didn't track, but our anecdotal data shows that our students are hired pretty easily, especially in recent years with high-paid jobs. And we struggle to keep our teaching assistants because they started with teaching assistant and then they are grabbed by someone else. I think last year, if you look at the students, a large proportion of our students come to us already have jobs. I would say probably a third of our students are K-12 teachers. They came here really trying to learn how to integrate technology into their, they have all the tools. They just would like to know how to better integrate technology in their practice. And if they get a master's degree, they can be promoted and their salary rank goes up. Another 1/3 is usually from colleges who are going to do instructional design work, and from industries who are doing e-learning type of work. Some of them already in the field for a while. Another 1/3, we have a big military base here, Navy, the Defense Language Institute. The number of students from military is decreasing. We have more K-12 teachers now and industry related. We even had an accountant in the program and dentist who would like to shift their career interest to a training position. Yeah.
So the DLA is their Defense Language Institute. We have a student from there in our program now, and it's. I know what you're saying. A lot of them, it changes over time, and we have more K-12 emphasis today. There's more grant money at the K-12. We only have 20 minutes before you have to pick up your child, so I want to make sure our students ask you questions. But before I do, Miguel, what do you have up on the screen? What do you have? What are you showing us?
Oh yes, what I'm sharing right now is the Custom Festival pages. So you can see over here the different kind of custom projects that our students create. So we have, last year we have 5 students from China. So it was quite interesting because it's a different time, right? They have like a totally different time zone. So sometimes they were, for the orientation, they were not able to attend, or some of them were able to attend, but it was very, very early in the morning for them. So you can see the different kind of projects. As Dr. Su is mentioning, we have a great variety of professional backgrounds. So we have K-12 teachers, we have higher education, we have people in corporate settings, and some of the students who, when they graduate, they have been able to be hired by top companies. We have a student who is working at Geico, another one in Tesla, Dell, Apple, what else? Google, exactly. Facebook, yes.
Exact, yeah.
Yeah, so many companies. We just took it because we it's a joke that they are making more money than we are making. Yeah, when they get hired by these companies.
That's true.
Yeah.
Same here. So I think we should probably open it up to student questions, unless there's, Subudhi, you had a couple of things you shared with us. I'm gonna just put up on the screen. I want to share my screen. So let's see if I can do that. Hang on a second. So we got a couple. No, I don't want to put that up there. Let's see. I don't want to share. Or do you want to put it up on the screen? Let's see. We got this. And And then we've got, so we got this, and we got that. We've got this. Okay, so what is this, Subudi?
This is the lowest fishes and computers, the link that you asked. So this is where, the refurbishing computers and redistributing.
Okay.
And a lot of them, have our students. The volunteer, the picture is our students there. Our computer science students helping out. Yeah.
And this is just your campus website, right?
Yeah.
So we've got that. Okay. All right.
I
So
think one thing before I forget is that if the students here are PhD, doctor students, if you are looking for a teacher's position or a professor, assistant professor position in instructional technology, besides School of Education, you can look for others. It's in CSU. We are not in School of Education. We are in School of Computing and Design. And in San Diego, their IST program is in journalism. And some IST are related to training in the School of Business. So do not think that School of Education is the only place you should look into, because IST is such interdisciplinary, and it also depends on your interest in and bachelor's degree. Like Miguel and I all have computer science degrees, so this is a good fit for us. And some of you have design bachelor's degree. And if we would like to have those, people who have a formal design degree, or who can teach undergraduate courses, and also can have a PhD in IST to be able to teach master's classes, right? So yeah, it's more interesting when different disciplines merge or intersect. You can do even innovative and interesting things. So for example, we did a project for our Natividad Hospital that they had to train over 700 nurses. And in order to have the nurses to be able to use the electronic patient care system, because back then it was probably about 7 years ago, all the hospitals are required to use electronic patient care system. If otherwise, they won't be able to get their funding. So over 700 nurses, if they train, they have to bring them 3 days and they have to pay for them. So that ended up with like over $1 million just for training. So they came to us and said, can you help with e-learning? Because we don't have the budget, but we have to do this. So I got this grant. I said, okay, if you give me $60,000, I can make this work. So they gave me $60,000. I hired 5 ISD students along with our design major design students. So we put an e-learning portal that has 72 modules. And we produced all of this in 4 months, which saved them huge money. And they only asked their 700 nurses to come in and train them for 1 hour instead of 24 hours. And the rest will be self-paced training using our interactive module. So this is one example that, design and ISD, because it's e-learning that you have to really use. And we used Captivate to deliver those screen-based training. And then Captivate at that time also had assessment portion that separate that we purchased to make sure that, we can track how nurses completed along the way of the 72 modules. Yeah, just one example, this training is used everywhere, not only
increasingly we're seeing interdisciplinary approaches. Also in the School of Medicines are hiring IST people for their PBL programs. So it's business schools, medical schools, journalism, as you said, nursing, you see it often, but yeah, computing increasingly now because the focus is on computational thinking. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you remember Jalene E, who was in the same cohort with me, going through IST, and she was hired just to change the job. She was working in medical school field for a long time, and she is a training director for another medical organization now in Chicago. So
Yeah, in Chicago. Yeah, she's friends of
Xiaojing.
Xiaojing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I should have invited Xiaojing tonight. Do students have questions in the Jamboard? I haven't checked the Jamboard. You're muted, Sunmei. Yeah.
Yeah, just one, actually two questions. The first
Okay.
one is, what types of problems did the students choose to serve in the hackathon event?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. So the type of problems is community-based problems. So for instance, some of the community organizations had the problems about like a lack of a web presence, or they want to have like online orders, like a ordering system, and then they create this type of systems for them, right? Like yeah, like a shopping cart type of need that these small organizations have.
Sunmei, what's the other question in there?
But actually, I can ask one more question about the hackathon. So is it available for high school students as well, or just for college and adult?
It's only for university
Okay.
because yeah, there are some sensitive issues with high school students being involved the whole weekend. So yeah, we will need to go through a lot of bureaucracy paperwork to have high school students in the university.
Oh, we did have one though, Miguel. We did have one
Only
student.
one. Yeah, I think it was one team, right? I don't remember how did that.
One team had one student from
one student.
Guillory, Guillory High School.
Yeah, but probably we don't market it to high schools, but once in a while we might have one or two.
Do you have any face-to-face classes now, or is everything online?
Everything is face-to-face. I am teaching a class with 80 students.
Face-to-face?
Yes, face-to-face, 80 students.
I have a class with 98 students, but it's been online for 2 weeks. So this is the third week. So we are going back to face-to-face. But our university requires N95 mask, N90 or KN95 to enter the rooms. So all students have to have the right masks to enter.
Oh, that's interesting. I miss the face-to-face. I have a HyFlex now. I'm using HyFlex like Brian Beatty. You might know Brian Beatty. He's a former IST student. He developed HyFlex.
Right.
Yeah, use his book on HyFlex from San Francisco State. Yeah. So it's hard. HyFlex is hard, you know.
When are you coming back to face-to-face, Dr. Bonk?
Well, IU is doing everything. You know, some classes are face-to-face and some, but see, in IST, the program itself, we don't have many face-to-face students anymore. They're all online.
Oh,
so if we had them here face-to-face, we'd have face-to-face classes. We just don't have enough. We have a few face-to-face classes, but not many.
I see.
It's changed. So Priska put her camera on, so I'm assuming she has a question. She usually puts her camera on when she has a question. Go ahead, Priska.
I did have a question. Actually, you guys are talking about it right now, which is interesting, but it mostly had to do with synchronous and asynchronous learning and whether or not you find one of them works better for certain disciplines over another since people are online.
Yes, very good question. I think it works very well for computer science, to be honest, because in computer science, you are teaching software, you are teaching programming. It might not work that well for health sciences, in which you really need to have like a lab component. You need to really have like a person practicing, right? In probably like a virtual patient or a mannequin or something. So in order to improve that set of psychomotor skills, you might need to have the lab component, the face-to-face component, that it cannot be replaced by the virtual or online class. Something that you need to consider as well is the type of students that you are going to have, because and we notice that immediately, right? Undergraduate students are not, as you may know, online classes are mainly intended for non-traditional students, students who already have some self-discipline, who are self-motivated, who know how to learn. you can have undergrad kids that you are in front of them and they're still like watching their Instagram account, right? And you are right there in front of them. So now imagine if they are online very far away from you, they likely will not be paying attention to you, right? So in that case, what we did during the pandemic is to switch to remote teaching. Not we didn't have like the online classes, but remote teaching. So we have like what you are having over here right now. We have all of the students, and we have to change our strategies to teach, because you cannot have undergraduate students and be talking for 2 hours, because you are going to lose them, right?
So the first thing we did as a school-wide is that in order to facilitate, because some faculty were just completely teaching face-to-face and couldn't teach online. So the first thing we did is we created a course redesign guideline. We asked all faculty to redesign their classes on Canvas. And we decided, so, okay, we have so many instructors, we have a lot of part-time instructors. So the first thing we did was like, our syllabus is 2 portions. You will take care of the part 1, and all the policies and things like that were automatically updated in their Canvas. And also the course design guideline, we probably had like at least 10 guidelines with very specific criteria. And since then, our student engagement really went up. Our course evaluation, all 10 areas of course evaluations for individual instructors on average went up. So yeah, there are some strategies you can do. Course redesign is certainly one thing. And Dr. Lara was right that you will have to look at your students. Last semester, we are primarily back in person already. This is the second semester we are almost fully came back in person. So last semester, we observed the biggest wave of student mental health issues because they were online for a bit too long. And when they came back, we're still fighting pandemic. We are still figuring out how to navigate through this thing. So some students were really apprehensive. They don't want to come back, but they have no other choice. And so it was pretty chaotic last semester. And we did observe mental health issues of the students a bit more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Other questions? I see Katie put her camera on, so I'm assuming Katie has a question.
Actually, I'm interested, Dr. Su, in what you were just saying, the course redesign, was that just in your department, or was that for the entire school?
It's just my department because Miguel and I had formal training on how to train people. So we put the guidelines ourselves together, working with some faculty. Mostly tenure track faculty put the guidelines together. And then, but we shared it because other department, when they knew that we have such a guideline, they asked for that. So we gave it to the university level Center for Academic Technologies. So they probably shared it with other departments.
So because you're being pulled into this, did it count as part of your service load to the university?
Probably, yeah. Miguel and I have been doing a lot of service, so it does not really matter to us that many.
It doesn't matter, yeah. We don't get paid anything extra.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask, did you get bonus checks?
No, I wish.
Okay, we have another question on the Jamboard, don't we, Sunmi?
Yeah, when it comes to employment, do you believe that the type of school that the IST degree comes from matter for a particular career path for Dr. Su?
So are you saying with the types of school that will hire you?
Well, wait, whose question was that, just so we know?
That was mine also.
Okay, you want to say it in a different way?
Sure. You had mentioned that the IST, is in your computer-based school of education. There's lots of different opportunities to get a degree in IST. So I was curious, when looking at it from an employment standpoint, are there certain employers that would prefer it to come from a certain school, even though it's a similarly titled degree?
Not necessarily, because I think a master's degree is master's degree. It really depends on your portfolio, like your skill set and expertise. So I don't think there is a big difference where you are graduating matters. But if you're thinking to become a professor in different schools, it matters in terms of pay. So our pay at the School of Computing Design is probably, I would say, even 20% higher than School of Education. Within within College of Science, we are on average, we are 10% higher than other science department, like biology and math. We are higher because we have difficulty hiring people. So that's it really depends on where you are, what you're doing, and which school you end up. School of Business has the highest pay. Theirs is probably average 10% higher than us even, right? So if you would like to do any training, and they do have HR department, and they cover like training topics. And School of Business actually really wanted to have us, IST, under them, the College of Business, and we said no, because they took our third floor, and they tend to hoard all the resources. So we are would like to be where we are. We're happy with where we are.
I know Subudi needs to leave soon for her daughter. She's got a couple of minutes left, and I want to make sure we have if someone has a question they haven't asked, please jump in. Now's the time. So we have a chance for maybe 2 more questions, and who would like to ask them? Megan, go ahead.
I have a question. So Dr. Su, you mentioned using Captivate in the nurse training program that you spoke about. I was wondering, are there other tools that you see just being used really commonly in the field and the workplace? And what kinds of programs do you think we should kind of be able to use as we prepare for going on the job market?
I would defer that question to Dr. Lara, because he's teaching our authoring tools class, and he does keep up with industry changes a lot. But as far as I know, Storyboard is another one.
Yes, you're right, Dr. Su. Yes, an excellent question, Megan. Yeah, as you mentioned, Captivate is definitely an industry standard. If you are looking for a job in Indeed.com or Monsters.com in instructional design, they are going to ask you to know Captivate for sure, or a Storyline. Articulate 360 will be another one. As a matter of fact, I really wish we could teach Storyline instead of Captivate. I don't like that much Captivate. It's a little bit buggy and cumbersome, and a little bit not that intuitive as Storyline. However, it is like 3 times more expensive than Captivate. Captivate is the cheapest right now. The academic version is only $400. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is that once you know Captivate, then you can migrate to any other e-learning tool, right? Because it's so difficult to learn that once you know how to do it, you will know any other tool. The one that we are teaching as well is H5P. So you might look into that one. H5P it has a free version. It's called Lumi, L-U-M-I. You can download it and install it in any computer. See you, Dr. Su.
Well, before you head out, Subudi, I want to say thank you to both Subudi and Miguel. If Miguel can hang around for maybe, can you hang around 5 more minutes?
Like 1 more minute just to answer Megan's question, but yes, I need to also run at 5.
So we should all give a round of applause to Subudi before she goes and say thank you big time for helping us. I'll send you an email later, but it's great to see you.
Oh, my pleasure. And good luck, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I will type in the chat window, Megan, the link to H5P. And then the other one is Lumi Education. H5P by itself, you will need to install it in an LMS. You will need to install it in Moodle or Blackboard. It will not work by itself. So you need to download this program. And this is relatively new. This is just like created last year. So nobody knows about this tool. It's Lumi Education. You can download it and you can create your own S5P. My students are really pleased with S5P. They are amazed about the project that they can create. You can export the products as a SCORM objects, so you can embed them in any LMS. All right, so yeah, these are probably the two most common tools that you can use, S5P and Captivate.
Did you say you have a class now, Miguel?
No, I have another meeting at 5 o'clock.
Oh, so it is
Yeah,
5
it's a
o'clock now.
pleasure,
So
as always, Dr. Bonk, to see you, talking to all of you. Nice to meet you, and I wish you the best in this semester. You have the best professor. So yeah, please take good use of him. Ask him a lot of questions. He's very good at everything in online education.
So he said that without needing a grade. He has his grades, but I will say, Miguel, my handbook blended. That was last night's class, actually, on blended. So I still have these 10 questions to ask you next time.
Of course, yes, no problem. We need to have like a 2-hour meeting next time.
Yeah, the last time you were with us was 2015 or 16, maybe your first year out there. When did you start, 15 or 14 or what
14.
year?
I started in 14.
14, so maybe it's in your second year, you were in my class, and I got a picture of it. I screen captured, so I have a picture of you holding up a coffee cup or whatever that, yeah.
Okay,
So thank you for coming in again.
Problem. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Okay, see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I will stop the recording at this point.
Thank you.
And thank you.